the ongoing debt ceiling negotiations, which hit a snag yesterday. According to a source familiar with the discussions, both sides are reportedly disagreeing on future federal spending levels. Members from both sides spent much of yesterday criticizing one another on how they were moving forward with the process. However, if they were able to find a compromise on spending, the same source says it would help considerably in terms of reaching a final deal. Joining us now, Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin of Maryland. He's a ranking member of the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability. It's great to have you back on the show. Great to see you, sir. So where's this going to go? Are we going to get to a deal so we don't have to default on money that's already been spent?
Well, nobody seems to know, but the positive development in my mind is that on the Democratic side, people understand that the 14th Amendment is not an option, as people have been saying. The 14th Amendment is an imperative. That is, it's the whole framework for analyzing the problem. And Section 4 says that the validity of the public debt shall not be questioned. And therefore, in the final analysis, the president must continue to pay the Social Security and Medicare recipients. He's got to pay the bondholders of the United States. He's got to pay the veterans and fund the nutrition programs and so on, in the event that the Republicans really are determined to drive us over a cliff, because all of those spending programs are federal laws and statutes too, and the Constitution says the validity of the public debt shall not be questioned. So Biden is really in the same situation where Abraham Lincoln was with habeas corpus, when he said, should I enforce one law or should I enforce all the laws of the Union and respect the Constitution? And if he's forced to the extreme like that, we know what he's got to do.
Congressman, good morning. A glance at the calendar shows that June 1st deadline laid out by the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, is a week from tomorrow. I would add that Memorial Day weekend is upon us here, so that's Friday and Monday for a lot of people. That's not much time to get a deal, and even the proposal you're putting out there with the 14th Amendment, that's going to go through legal challenges, and that could take a long time. I mean, as you sit there and you're as honest as you can be here, do you believe there's a chance the United States defaults on its debt here?
I mean, it would be an extraordinary, unbelievable, and reprehensible thing if they really drove us over the cliff. But I don't think there will be legal challenges by the administration, because the president doesn't have to challenge anybody. He just has to meet the full faith and credit of the United States by paying our creditors. Now, if Marjorie Taylor Greene or someone else wants to sue, they would have to prove that they have standing, which means they're injured by other people getting paid the money that the United States of America owes them. I think that would be a very difficult thing even for this Supreme Court to say. And even if they found there was standing, it's certainly a political question under the Constitution. It's never been something adjudicated before by the Supreme Court. And in the final analysis, what is the remedy if they think the president should not have paid the bondholders or the veterans? Are they going to make the veterans pay the money back? Are they going to make the bondholders pay the money back to the U.S. government? I just think the president of the United States and the Secretary of the Treasury, who want to do the right thing under the Constitution, hold all the cards here in the final analysis if we're really being driven off the cliff by a mega extreme.
And, John, as you know from your reporting, the White House has resisted this idea of invoking the 14th Amendment, and Secretary Yellen herself said it could cause a constitutional crisis if they go that route.
Yeah, there would be significant legal challenges. And the president himself has said that even if they were to do it, because there would be such an appeal towards it, it would slow things down and would hit the X date anyway. So they've reserved the right to explore it as an option down the road, but they seem to think it may not help in this particular crisis. Congressman Raskin, wanted to turn you to your role as a ranking member of the Oversight Committee. Your Republican colleague, Congressman Comer, has said some interesting things in recent days about his investigation into the Biden family, suggesting that, yes, this was largely poll-driven, and also that they seem to keep losing informants and witnesses. So how do you think it's going?
Well, yeah, I think that the chairman gave the game away. It was, I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, when he talked about how he felt that his investigation was improving Donald Trump's poll numbers for the 2024 rematch. And I was just thinking about the great former chairs of our committee, people like Henry Waxman and Elijah Cummings and Carolyn Maloney, and how none of them ever would have talked about measuring the success of our investigative oversight to make sure the laws of the United States are being successfully implemented by the poll numbers of a former president, much less one who's been twice impeached for, inciting insurrection against the United States or trying to undermine the election, or somebody who recently was found to have engaged in sexual abuse and defamation of a woman. I think it speaks for itself. It's an embarrassment to our committee that they've wrapped themselves, just like Jim Jordan and the Judiciary Committee, around Donald Trump's ambitions to become president again after he's completely discredited himself and turned the party of Lincoln into an authoritarian cult of personality. It's just a remarkable turn of events, and it marks the decline of the GOP.
All right, Congressman Jamie Raskin. By the way, I don't think we've seen you since your health challenges. We're so glad you're doing so much better. You're doing well, and it's great to see you. And thank you for coming on the show this morning.
You're very kind.
All right, take care.